Welcome back everybody, back to Gumi's Shotgun Fun Time, and what I want to do today is take a look at the new suppressor buff that we recently got for the Cold War guns, and specifically, as usual, take a look at them for the shotguns. Is it the new meta for the shotguns? Is it even worth running? So let's check it out. Here is the new sound suppressor. As you can see, we now have 4 pros to 1 con, so we basically have sound suppression. Obviously it's a suppressor. Aim down sight speed, awesome, good to see. Bullet velocity, which is again kind of pointless on a shotgun, and sprint to fire speed, all at the cost of less range. So first off, the aim down sights bonus is pretty minimal. I mean, it's really negligible here. We're talking about 1 frame or so at the most of a bonus to aim down sight speed. It's nice, it's kind of okay, but that alone is really not worth running with the penalty to range, which I'll get into shortly and compare with the agency choke. Bullet velocity, no point to that, so we're gonna skip that. And sprint to fire speed, based on what I could test from whenever the game detected my input on the controller to the time a shot was fired, it took roughly 1 frame off of my sprint to fire speed for these Cold War shotguns. 1 frame is okay, but again, I'm not sure if that makes it entirely worth it when we have the agency choke. No stock, the best attachment for sprint to fire speed on the shotguns, gives us roughly a 41% bonus to sprint to fire speed, and equipping the suppressor with it takes it up to about 47%. This is basically 9 frames or so, which is about 150 milliseconds. That's pretty dang quick, but no stock on its own already gives you a great sprint to fire speed. The real benefit to this attachment is when you use it with a no stock attachment, and when you use the ember sighting point, which hurts sprint to fire speed by around a frame or so as well. So then the suppressor sort of negates the negative effect of the ember sighting point, which is kind of nice and lets you be just a bit quicker to react than you normally would without it. But the thing is, it's only 1 frame. That's really not a huge boost or detriment. It's nice, don't get me wrong, but we have the agency choke, which, even though we don't get any mobility boost to aim down sights time or sprint to fire speed, we lose less range than with the suppressor. If this sounds weird, well, basically the agency choke, from what I can tell, still seems to give you less range and does not actually increase the effective damage range at all, but the reason it's so good and I recommend it and so many people run it is because it hurts range by only like 0.2 of a meter. So the Street Sweeper's max damage range goes from 3.4 to 3.2 meters, which is not bad at all. With the sound suppressor, you lose more range and it takes the damage range to about 2.9 meters. So with the agency choke, you lose 6%, and with the normal sound suppressor, you lose roughly 15% range. Is that worth a small boost to aim down sights and sprint to fire speeds? In my opinion, no, it is not. I still recommend using the agency choke for the Gallo and the Street Sweeper. No stock alone is already a great attachment, and you can still run the ember sighting point and be okay for the most part. Yeah, it's not the peak sprint out time and fast as possible, but I think the range makes up for that. If you want the rundown, here it is. The sound suppressor isn't really worth it in my opinion because you get negligible boosts to mobility, and the range penalty is much worse than the agency choke, so if you had to choose, probably go with the agency choke still. At the end of the day, I have a feeling these were sort of copy and pasted attachments, because why on earth do we need bullet velocity for a shotgun? It just doesn't make sense to me. Plus, the agency choke still hurts range, which you can test on your own. Just see how far back you can get a hit marker on something with the base gun, equip the agency choke, and then do the same thing, and you'll see that you have to be closer for you to get a hit marker on whatever you're shooting at. So that just about does it for this video. I know it was really short, but I wanted to update you guys and let you know if the new changes to the suppressor were worth running now and if it was a game changer for shotguns. Sadly, it's okay, but it's really not worth it in my opinion over the agency choke. So what do you guys think of the new changes? Were they enough to convince you to use the suppressor? Do you feel like it's actually worth running now? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to check out my Twitter, and you can follow me and tag me in ridiculous memes or ask questions and all that good stuff. And with all that being said, I'll see you in the next video.